Andy Earl. Yep. E-A-R-L.
Sorry, Andy.
All right. So, how many of you drove your own personal vehicle to school here today? Yeah? Okay, well you fit into the 91% of Americans who commute every day by their own personal vehicle. Okay, so the average American spends an average of close to an hour behind the wheel a day, and they average about 29 miles per day, according to the National Household Travel Survey that was done in 2002. So it's probably changed a little bit since then, but it is our responsibility as citizens to really change the way we commute. We have an ever-increasing worry about petroleum use and everything like that. And so it's our responsibility to start to look at alternate forms of transportation to get around. And I have a little bit of experience with this because last fall semester I made a commitment to myself that I was going to ride my bike every day to school instead of driving my own personal vehicle. And I found a lot of advantages to that, and I had a great time doing it. So we all commute. This all applies to each one of us. So alternate forms of transportation can really enrich and energize your life and add a lot to the way you get around. So I just want to talk about personal vehicles because they do have their place in our society, and kind of the pros of that and the cons of it, and alternative transportation, the pros and cons to that. So what are the pros to driving your own personal vehicle?
You know when you're going to get somewhere.
Yeah.
You're in control of your time.
Okay.
Carpooling someone else.
You don't have to rely on someone else. Carpooling falls under alternate forms of transportation.
I guess so.
But what else? What are some of the other pros to that?
Air conditioning.
Air conditioning. That is nice.
The radio.
Yeah.
Interior.
Yeah.
Social.
Blast it, sing along in your car. Social
Stop at
images.
home. Like if you're on a bus, you can't stop and go to the grocery store or whatever.
You don't have to worry about who's sitting next to you in your own car.
Okay, so there are definite pros to driving your own personal vehicle. Now, what do you think some of the cons would be to having your own personal vehicle? Expense. The average American spends about $8,000 a year to keep their car up and running. So it's a pretty expensive thing when you take into consideration your car payment, your insurance, gas, oil. If you get into an accident, your deductible. I got in an accident just last week. Nothing happened to my car, but the girl that, yeah, her car was not too well off. So there's a lot of expenses when it comes to it, including here on campus, parking adds another, how much is it? 69 bucks? $80. $80. Yeah. So, and that doesn't even guarantee you're really going to get a spot close to the school. So it can end up being a little bit of a pain. So something that I realized when I was riding my bike to school, I actually ended up, I live about 4 miles off of campus here, and I actually got to the door in a little bit less time than it took to drive my car to school, find a parking spot, and walk, usually what seems to be a long way, because classes for me didn't start till 10 during fall semester, which makes it impossible to find a decent parking spot this time. So you've all had experiences with driving around, looking for a parking spot, kind of like waiting for somebody to come out of the school so you can follow them, see if they're going to get a spot close, kind of creeping up on people. So alternate forms of transportation can actually save you time. You can predict how long it is going to take. Actually, it's more predictable. You don't have to worry about traffic, especially if you're on a bike. You can just go around everybody. So there's a lot of things that that come from changing up the way you commute. So I wanted to primarily focus on commuting by bicycle as one of the things, since most of us live fairly close to campus as students. So what would some of the health benefits be to commuting by bicycle?
Exercise.
Exercise. How many of you pay for a gym membership? How many of you use it daily?
Good question.
Almost daily. 80% of Americans, according to Medical News Today, 80% of the 40 million Americans paying for gym memberships are not using them. So that's, I mean, I've had a gym pass before and I use it, maybe once or twice a week. So I just got rid of it and changed it up and started using my bike a lot more. And something that the Surgeon General recommends is that all adults should engage in moderate intensity exercise for at least 30 minutes on most days of the week. So you worry about sweating on your way to school, getting kind of dirty. Just take it easy. You don't have to rush to get to school, but if you want to get a workout on the way home, it's a great way to do it. I rode to school today, and I don't smell too bad. So it's a great way to get around. Some of the cost benefits of riding a bike. If you were to substitute 5 miles a day with your bike in commuting, running an errand or something like that, you would save 1,800 miles a year, and that's at 20 miles a gallon. That saves you about $275 a year if gas stays around $3 a gallon. So you'll have 23 bucks extra a month if you just run an errand a day on your bike, and that's enough for some decent groceries. That's enough for a movie, just a few fun things that you can do every month, and that's, multiply that if you go 10 miles a day. It really works out to save you quite a bit of money. You don't have to buy a parking pass. There's another 90 bucks. You don't have to worry about so many costs and things that come up with your personal vehicle. So also another benefit of commuting by bicycle is you can mix with that other forms of public transit. All the UTA buses have bike racks now. The Trax has a bike rack. Soon Front Runner is going to be down here, which will make it really nice. You'll be able to commute up to Salt Lake fairly easily. And you can just ride the bike to the bus station, take it to the train station, take it up to Salt Lake, and then get around Salt Lake that way. So it's a really easy way to get around, especially since as students we get the education pass for $20 for the year. So that makes it really cheap and economical for all of us. So I have a boss. He's kind of been forced into public transit. He got a DUI, but it's funny to watch him because he got his license back and he still loves riding the bus, and it's something that makes he's able to get a lot of work done while he's on the bus. He can still listen to his music, and he meets different people every day. So it's a great way to get to know people in your community and things like that. So riding the bus and using public transit coupled with riding a bicycle is a great way to get around, and it's fairly easy. So I want to reiterate that personal vehicles are great. They're okay. They definitely have their place in our society, and it's so culturally ingrained in us that it's pretty much almost a must for us. But we should make an effort to use alternate forms of transit. So will all of you ride to school or work at least one day this semester?
Yes.
Yes?
Honestly, no.
At least you're honest, Skippy. Okay, so we all just have this responsibility to the environment, other people, and ourselves to really make an effort. So I just want to encourage all of you to use an alternate form of transportation this semester.